Hello, everybody. Welcome back, where we are going to be continuing our playthrough of Collar Times Malice, Part 2 of Enomoto's Route. I am super excited to see what happens next, and hopefully, we do not die. Please. Belief in justice, rejection of evil. A wish to put others' needs before yours. A desire to save others. I chose this path because I believe in this. I never turned back. I had always looked straight ahead. So how did I end up here? Where had I taken a wrong turn? All I know for sure was that I had been foolish to be so blindly devoted. Now I was trapped in a cold reality. My fleeting dreams vanished into thin air. I have no idea how far I will fall. All I can do now is await judgment. Oof. That's not great. $12.9. It's 9 something. It's here, right? I stopped in front of a room. Field operation teams, too. It was a department that worked with forensics and detectives mainly for preliminary investigations for assault, homicide, and other horrendous crimes. Of course, the X-Day crimes were in their domain. It's Enomoto's former team, too. I felt terribly out of place in this area as a SRCPO officer. That was because 30 minutes ago, while eating lunch, I got a call from Sakuragawa. Sakuragawa? Learned something new about the incident? I excitedly picked up the phone. Sorry to bother you during lunch, but I need you to come down to the forensics. It's urgent. Ooh, oh, okay then. Off to forensics we go. Hello? She hung up without waiting for me to give her a reply. I don't understand, but this is no time for me to be enjoying lunch. I quickly scarfed down the rest of my food and headed to forensics. I mean, you do need to eat. Eating is good. Food is good for the body. Wow, this looks hectic. And the investigators seem to be getting ready to head out to a crime scene. I might not be able to speak with her. Thinking that, I looked for her. Hashina. She wove her way through the excuse me. She wove her way through the people coming and going and greeted me. Actually, I was just about to introduce you to. But some idiot somewhere got everyone riled up. Could it be another X-Day? It's a theft case, so probably not this time. Anyway, I can't come with you. I already told him that a friend of mine wanted to know more about the April May incidents. I told him that SRCPO wanted to share information to better keep the public order. For now, I haven't told him about your working with the guys at the office. You can decide yourself how to tell him once you meet him. So you're saying he knows you're coming, so you can meet him without me. We're on lunch break anyway. What? But that's too sudden. The sooner the better, right? Sakate's fine. He won't hassle you. But... Alright, see you. Hashida, carry on without me. With that, Sakura left, tugging along her work equipment. I get to eat Endomento's old, I think, boss, right? Yeah. Because she told me that, I hurried over, thinking that I couldn't hesitate. Wait for it. But now that I was here, I was nervous. Told me that he wouldn't treat me badly, but I'm about to go and meet a veteran detective. They're very busy in field ops, so I stunned that he managed to make time for me. I timidly hovered by the door, but my lunch break was winding down. Okay, let's do this. Let's go! Just do it! I took a deep breath and knocked on the door. Excuse me? As soon as I entered, several men who looked like field ops detectives sharply turned their attention toward me. Look, it's a newbie! Slightly intimidated by all their gazes, I stumbled over my words. I'm Katie Hashino. I'm from Special Region Crimes Prevent Office. Local office. Is Mr. Kazusukata currently present at this time? I raised my voice more than I usually did, probably because I was nervous. The room fell silent by the next moment. The men erupted into bright laughter, and their laughs echoed throughout the room. I like how assertive she is. She's definitely cut out for our team. You're right. Maybe I'll put in a word with HR to hand this one over to us. Nice. It's downright dirty in here. If we had a girl like you around, I would put some pep in our step. The ugliest guy is Shinjuku Precinct is going to try and give other people crap. Nah, sir, my face is no match for that old man spunk you got going on. I awkwardly stood there, then a voice suddenly called out from the back. Hey, young lady, come over here, this way. I hurried over to the owner of the voice, who pulled me from the ocean of awkwardness. It's only awkward if you make it awkward, or so they say. An older, weary man was waiting for me. Could this be? 53. Filled up team 2. His gentle smile immediately soothed away all my anxiety. I'm Katie Hashino from the Special Regions Crime Prevention Office, local office. I'm terribly sorry for taking up your time during such a busy day. Oh, I was just surprised. I imagined that any acquaintance stuff would be more manly. But instead, you're a polite, well-mannered young lady. Well, Sakurawa got that personality, you know. I was worried she didn't have any girlfriends. I'm definitely a girl, and I am most definitely her friend, I think. I think we're friends and not just coworkers, but who knows?
佐竹さん、そんなの今更じゃないですか。そうそう、新宿署の父ちゃん。いや、じいちゃんでしたっけ？
Right, your papa is Drook now, or was it grandpa? Hey, don't call me old. I'm still a fighting fit detective. Wow, that face is so old, it's retired. Shut it, kid. It's too loud here. Young lady, why don't you follow me upstairs? Oh, alright. With one of the young ladies at the office. I'm so jealous. Listen, you. This is for work. Don't just slack off while I'm gone. Sir, yes, sir. I don't need to be on your bad side. Take your time. Sorry that you had to endure all of that back there, young lady. Not at all. This is different than what I imagined. Okay, and the other detectives were approachable, despite their intimidating air. Their cheerfulness bore a close resemblance to Enomoto's style. I followed him up to the roof, where I was immediately assaulted by the winter chill. Sorry, young lady, it's a bit chilly here. Just bear with it. Please don't mind me, but the way you keep addressing me. Oh, does it bother you? From my point of view, you youngsters are all little boys and girls. When he said that with an ear-to-ear grin, I couldn't help but smile back. It's just a little embarrassing to be called that at my age. But I know you're just saying it to be friendly, so I don't mind. Good. Then, right. Do you mind if I light up out here? Not at all. Just don't smoke indoors. I mean, you shouldn't smoke at all, but if you do smoke outside. And try not to smoke around kids. Out of his pocket and put it to his lips. I always need this to relax. This place is better for relaxing than the smoking area. While watching him take a puff of his cigarette, I considered how to approach the topic. This is my first time talking to someone in the police while hiding my X-Day investigation. You've forgotten something critical. There's another person here. It's fine to ask questions in the police station, but when someone asks you for your opinion, pay close attention to how you answer. You might get killed, you know? Poison! Right into the back of my neck. Oh no, I've been poisoned. Pointed advice said, a small slip of the tongue could endanger my life. How could I ask and make it sound natural? The more I pondered it, the drier my throat felt. What's the matter? Feeling nervous, young lady? I was worried that my silence was suspicious, but Sake was giving me a toothy grin. Well, I actually haven't talked to a girl like you in a long time. It's all men in our office, you know. I spent so much time with those lugs that I wasn't sure if I scared you. Not at all, sir. On the contrary, I'm glad you're easy to talk to. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. And the boys always call me a grumpy old man. I kind of like, you know, like when you tousle someone's hair in a sign of affection. I kind of want to tousle his hair. I haven't heard praise like that in a while. It's a nice feeling. Anyway, much as I'd like to chit-chat with you all day, why don't we get to business? Let's get down to business to defeat... that doesn't work. I straightened my back as he turned to me. You're here as an SRCPO officer to pick my brain about the XA incidents that happened in April and May, right? Yes, something stuck to me when Sakura brought it up. Could it be possible that this actually has nothing to do with CPO? I was startled that he hit the bullseye immediately, but I couldn't just give that. Your face tells me I'm right. Oh, oops. You can't hide it from me, young lady. I've got too much experience not to notice. His voice was quiet, but his words wore a lot of gravity. Before that, no matter how careful I was, he'd see through any deception I could throw together. He was a detective with a wealth of experience. A sloppy lie wouldn't work on him. If I lose his trust now, I could lose my chance to learn anything about the XA crimes. To press me for more, in fact, he seemed to be observing me. I have to hide the collar and come up with a valid reason. Making up my mind, I answered, as you stated, the reason I'm here to see you today has nothing to do with SRCPO. It's for a different reason, what I'd call a greater reason. Oh, a greater reason, Doesn't look like you're lying this time. Examined me with a sharp eye. Of course he'd be weary after I lied to him once already. I braced myself for this do-or-die moment, and I carefully picked my words. I'm actually working with a certain group of individuals to investigate the XA crimes. A group? Yes, they operate outside the police force and are investigating XAs independently. Is acquainted with them. I told her that I wanted to research the crimes. She introduced me to you. Investigating these crimes is a part of your SRCPO duty, is it? No, but as long as they remain unsolved, the lives of Shinjuku's citizens are under constant threat. I know that these cases can't be solved just by my efforts alone. But who's committing these acts, and why are they doing it? I want to know the truth behind it all. I see. Some of what I said wasn't exactly truthful, but the XA crimes were a personal issue to me. Maybe that's why Saka had believed me. If I assume that he's heard enough from my friend to know my story matches. The people who introduced me to her are at a certain detective agency. Wait, are you talking about the place that Enomoto is at now? Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I see. So Enomoto is mixed up in this. It makes sense that you'd come and seek out an old-timer like me. So rubbed his jaw and then nodded at me approvingly. It makes a lot of sense that he know where Enomoto went off to after he quit the police force. Well, it strongly indicated that Saki was concerned about Enomoto. Hey, young lady, is Enomoto still on the chart? Yeah? I was confused at the sadness in his expression as he asked that question. He's asking if Enomoto's still investigating? I've just started working with him recently, so I don't really know. But he didn't seem very enthusiastic about the investigation. Since I'm also researching the April and May cases, we're currently partners. I see. But his lack of enthusiasm might be because he hasn't accepted me yet. I'm fundamentally lacking in experience, and I don't know if I can help much in a fight. It was depressing to say it, but it was definitely the truth. I'm doing my best so that he'll acknowledge me, but it doesn't seem to be going very well. I smiled bitterly as I stated my feelings. That isn't your fault, young lady. It looks like he wants to pet my head now. Like, you know, like fatherly affection, like tousle your kid's hair. It's not? He put out his cigarette in a portable ashtray and looked at me. If the reason for your curiosity was something half-hearted, I was going to turn you down. But if he's involved, it's a different story. I'll tell you about April and May and about Enomoto. His face was serious. I nodded. Please do. Side story. I'm back. Huh? Where's Takara? He's not here yet. What's that, Enomoto? Oh, this? It's a special regional flavor of instant ramen. I saw that they're selling it at supermarkets nationwide, so I bought some. The packaging makes it seem super tasty. I see. I'm always relying on you to cook, so I'll make this today. Alright, prepare to taste the gourmet ramen of the great Mino Enomoto, who shames seasoned chefs.
Enomoto.
How's the investigation going? So-so? If you got nothing to hide, then look at me when you talk. It's not like I'm trying to hide anything. Look, I have to keep an eye on Hashino all the time, so I'm busy. Is that really why? Sorry, it's just an excuse. You know that you can't afford to be wasting time now. Our time is very limited. You were working on a time-consuming case. That would be fine, but you and I know that isn't true. Yeah, I can't get rid of your fears for you, but I don't want you to regret your choice. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask us. Thank you. I forgot to buy something. I'll be right back. After I patiently waited for a little bit, to manage to secure an empty interview room for us. Have a seat. Yes, excuse me. Boy, it's a small world. Never thought I'd be talking about him like this. Enomoto is an interesting kid, flamboyant in both appearance and behavior. He told me that his eye patch is a sign of respect for Dante Masamune. Yeah, that. I don't know what's going on in his head going out like that while he was a child, but I laughed to see him take it that far. I did too, actually, but then he got pouty. He still hasn't changed. He was one of Fieldop's lovable goofballs. He kicks up a fuss if you leave him alone, and he worries a ton about the strangest things. Once his mind is set on something, he just can't leave it be. That's right. He's a very archetype of a guy who acts before he thinks. I seemed very kind as he spoke about Enomoto, like those of a father boasting about his son. Maybe while Enomoto wasn't field ops, they were close enough to feel like family. I recalled the bright and cozy atmosphere when I visited field ops. From my perspective, he's a good cop. He's more passionate about justice than anyone, and he can never let the smallest wrong slip by. And he does his job with pride. That proved to be his undoing. We were both investigating the X-Day cases from April and May, but I had never seen Enomoto put any serious effort into it. It had been bothering me, but I didn't know if I should mention it. What happened to Enomoto? I yearned to find out. Maybe I could help, but we were only temporary partners. Earlier, you said he wasn't enthusiastic, right? That attitude didn't start after he quit the police. It didn't? You make it sound like it had happened while he was in the police? But it clashed with what I'd heard about Enomoto while he was an officer. If you think about his feelings, you probably wouldn't understand why. Huh? Enomoto is afraid of digging into these cases. Nothing to say, huh? What are you even doing here? You quit field ops to pursue X-Day, right? Then man up and start doing it. When that happened, he looked as if he was weighed down by some burden. Enomoto seemed like someone who would have pursued the truth once. Is there some tragic event in his past that changed him somehow, so he's unable to do so anymore? Yeah, Enomoto looked up to someone who, in his eyes, was the embodiment of justice. His name was Yuta Fuji. I gulped when I heard the familiar name. The only confirmed death in the May killings that were broadcasted? Yeah, Fuji was a bright fellow. He looked after his juniors and was a good cop. Enomoto idolized him. They looked like brothers when they were together. Good morning, sir. Caught another burglar. Not bad, man. As expected of our rising star. You don't mean that, sir. All of that flattery will get to my head. No, seriously. It's impressive how far you sniffed these guys out. You've got a good instinct. Not at all. I just stumbled upon him out on patrol. Did you forget what I told you? Those coincidences are important. Oh, right. They might seem like mere coincidences to you, but they have real impact on people's lives. Yes, sir. You always say that. I won't forget it. Ah, good, good. At this rate, you'll rack up many accommodations that you'll outrank me. Outrank you, Detective Fuji? Haha. There's no way. I don't know about that. I think it's only a matter of time until you leave the nest. It makes me feel just a tiny bit lonely. What? Only a bit? Be a little sadder, man. I mean, I've always been chasing after your back. I only managed to catch that thief today thanks to you, sir. Huh? Why? Weren't you the one who told me to keep my head on a swivel and never to overlook the slightest detail? Ah! I found those coincidences because of you, so these feats don't belong to me alone. So what do you want me to treat you to today? Steak. Oh, I'm not asking you to buy it for me, though. This picture belongs partially to me, too, so why don't you pay? Eh? Alright, steak dinner tonight. No, wait, sir. I don't have the money for that. He was killed by a notice. And it definitely wasn't an indiscriminate murder. He had been declared as one of 4 criminal police officers and judged accordingly. Enomoto looked up to Fuji because he believed in his righteousness. But for the police point of view, Fuji certainly looked like a bad man. Oh, from the public's point of view, I'm like, please, oh my gosh. But from the public's point of view, Fuji certainly looked like a bad man. I couldn't imagine how shocked Enomoto felt. He had lost the man who was his moral compass. Before we'd finished analyzing the April video, Enomoto told us all Fuji was one of the captives. The Detective Fuji, I'm sure of it. I never mistake you for someone else. Never. We can't be sitting on our hands assuming that this is a prank. Hurry up and open negotiations or else he'll... But the higher-ups didn't move right away. The name and notice hadn't come up yet, and the only evidence was a grainy internet video. It still had a chance of being a tasteless prank. Only once Fuji and the other Shinjuku officers fell off the grid did the investigation finally get underway. Delaying initial investigation was a critical error. We made no progress until May, when the officers were executed on the video. Yeah, of course, the police couldn't stay quiet now that one of their own had been killed. Ironically, that video uploaded galvanized the efforts of the entire police force. We wanted to find the scene and catch the killer. Both Enomoto and I were desperate to find them. I've heard a little about the discovery of the body, but not much else. There were only the bloodstains of the other officers aside from Fuji. Enomoto found those. The video analysis was running into problems, so he ran all over the place trying to find them. He didn't eat or sleep. It was like his soul was fueled by his tenacity, like he'd changed into a ghost. In that situation, people said that if it really was the work of notice, then we were too late. But he's the only one who wouldn't give up. I'll never forget what happened 5 days after the video went online. I found Enomoto standing in a room that reeked of blood, looking like a corpse himself. Oh no.
Enomoto.
Why? I know how you feel, but we must secure the area. Can you do that, Enomoto? Can't be. It can't be, right? It's a lie. Oh, he's crying. I won't accept this. No way. Man, that's rough. After that, Enomoto was driven by his hatred for the killers. That cheerful idiot showed a side of himself you'd never guessed existed. He dove into the investigation without talking to me or the other guys in Field Ops. And then he submitted his resignation right before July. During the middle of the investigation, it wasn't completely without warning. While he traced the shadow to Fuji's murderer, he started to change. For some reason, all that ferocity, passion, and anger disappeared. When I asked him if it was because he couldn't avenge Fuji, he gave me a horribly forced laugh and said, I couldn't possibly give up. And then he quit the police. I wonder if he found something that changed his mind about Fuji. Enomoto liked the office mood maker, but I never guessed that his past was like this. After all, he laughed all the time. That's all I can tell you about the crimes that happened then. If you want to unravel these murders, then you'll need to get it out of Enomoto. He acts tough and might not want to talk about it. If you use our discussion to try and coax something out of him, feel free to blame it on me. He'll be suspicious of you for knowing all this. No, I'm the one that asked you for all this information. Forget about it. I'm old. I like to tell stories. I can't lend you a direct hand, but I think Enomoto should still feel something about those crimes. This approach might not be the most straightforward, but please give it a shot. Young lady, help Enomoto, please. I will do my best, but I make no promises. Enomoto doesn't trust people anymore because of Fuji's death. It hurts to be betrayed by someone you trust. So maybe he thought that he was better off not placing his trust in anyone. But that's just so sad. I haven't been very helpful yet, and he hasn't acknowledged me. But I'll show Enomoto that I can be a partner that has his back. Oop, did not mean to do that. I declared my determination and stared at me, taken aback. If that works out, you'll make a daring duo. Darling. When you told me that you were involved with Enomoto, I wondered. I'm glad we talked, young lady. I'm sure that you'll be able to release the shackles binding Enomoto. As long as I don't get us killed. He handed me a note with his contact information written on it. If you have a question or if you want me to light a fire on Enomoto's ass, give me a call. I'll give him a good punch right square in the cheek. Okay. That was tense, but I'm glad that I was able to get him to talk. Finally taking a step towards discovering the truth. One giant step for man, one tiny step for the moon. 12:09, 6 p.m. Oh, my knee just popped. That felt nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help. I bowed and watched him leave. I quickly wrapped up all my SRCPO work and went to gather information at the abandoned building where Fuji's body was found. Oh no. However, it'd been over 6 months since the murder, and the attacks were It's been over 6 months since the murder, and attacks were now happening all over Shinjuku. It made sense that I didn't learn anything, which other investigators hadn't already uncovered. But this is all I can do right now. I contemplated whether speaking to Enomoto would be helpful. That's how I ended up doing this research. Enomoto might not want to go and check out the scene himself. So I have to gather the intel here. Go back to the start, I guess. In any case, I had to act. Then someone called my name. Eh? When I turned, I saw Yagari. Ah, thank you for your hard work.
Oh.
Yeah, if you're here then. Yes, I'm gathering information on the cases. What about you? I just came from another crime scene. I see Enomoto isn't with you. Not a lot of foot traffic comes through this area. I'll be fine on my own. It never hurts to have extra help when you're interviewing witnesses. If you're having trouble finding him, I can. Please, don't call him. The shocked look on his face is be like, oh? I didn't mean to raise my voice, and I quickly looked down. I'm sorry, but I really will be fine. You sound like you don't want to have him here with you. I can tell from your face that you know why Enomoto is connected to these cases. I hung my head. He had seen right through me, just like Sakura had. I'm that easy to read. Well, yeah, though Enomoto's easier to read. That doesn't make me feel better. He laughed. That was a slight surprise. I had never really seen Yagari laugh before. As you noticed, I heard about Enomoto from the... Excuse me. I see. So was rather worried about how Enomoto's been doing. A little while ago, Sakura scolded Enomoto for not investigating the cases. It's been nagging me since then, but I never imagined that he had that kind of past. I'm Enomoto's partner. I have to help him when he's suffering.
Ah, yeah.
No, just, I'm glad that you ended up his partner. Did Sakura tell you about what happened after Enomoto quit? No, he didn't. If you want to know more about your partner, then I want you to hear this. Yagari looked straight into my eyes. It felt like he was sizing up my conviction to know the truth. Please tell me. Alright, let's have this conversation back at the office. Understood. Ooh. Wait, did I investigate though? Did I find anything? Enomoto wasn't at the office, and Suzuka was working on something at his own seat. I'll make something to drink, just have a seat. Take a seat. What are you going to tell me? Had said that Enomoto quit the police when his passion for investigation faded. But he still had strong feelings about the murderers. I mean, makes sense. He killed one of his friends. Or acquaintance. Set the cup of cocoa down on the table. Oh my gosh, hot chocolate sounds so good. I'm trying not to drink coffee because, like, when I first moved, like, I overdrank coffee. So now I'm trying to, like, not drink coffee. And I'm like, ugh, it's so hard. Set a cup of hot cocoa down on the table and sat across from me. Helped me out when I was with Investigation Section 1. That said, I hadn't seen him since I quit the force, but I got a call from him in mid-September. Somehow he found out that I was independently investigating the X-Day crimes and asked me for a favor. A favor? You mean? Yeah, he wanted me to look after someone. He said that person would definitely be helpful, so I took Enomoto in. Helpful? He's just been baggage so far. Even the stupid cat is doing better than him. I'm not a stupid cat! Interrupted with a characteristically ruthless critique of Enomoto. I'd interacted with Enomoto during our time in the police. He wasn't a stranger to me, so I accepted him if he had the will to work. But Enomoto won't go near the X-Day crimes, but he isn't completely running away either. He still has some lingering attachment to them. If he didn't, then he would have turned me down. I thought that I would pursue the cases on my own now that I know Enomoto's past, but once I heard the whole story, I began to doubt my decision to avoid reopening old wounds. Even if it pained him, a part of Enomoto still wanted to face the truth. Old wounds unhealed will eventually just bleed on everything around them. Think about it like, I think about like things that I haven't worked through, or like in the past, like when I had things that I hadn't worked through, like a scab, right? Where it's like healing, but it's not quite healed. So like it could open up again if it like got poked or moved the wrong way. As his partner, what can I do? Hashina, it's important to understand how you can contribute, but it's just as important to know what you want to do. You're Enomoto's partner after all. What I want to do? Yogata and Sakura both left the office to investigate something, leaving me by myself. All by myself. Don't wanna be. What should I do? Had said that Enomoto was afraid of becoming involved with the murderers, but so was I. Even though I decided to join the investigation, the fear of death me even out. I mean, like, you have a more high chance of death because of your color. The guys have a higher chance of death, but not as high as you. So, I mean, like, your fear of death is really valid. A mistake or slip of the tongue could get me killed. Poisoned! I don't want to die. There were still so many things I wanted to try. I didn't want my life to end here. What's the difference between Enomoto and I? I was new to the police, I didn't really excel at anything, and I didn't have any achievements to be particularly proud of. And I was facing a notice, a terrorist organization, but still, I'll stand up to them. I don't want to give up. No matter how desperate the situation was, giving up would mean the end. It's all over, folks. As long as I struggled, I could still do this. It was still more helpful than resignation was. Enomoto is here because he doesn't want to give up either. I wonder if we could fight side by side as partners. Everybody was kung fu fighting. When, while I was thinking, the door suddenly opened. It's Enomoto. Sure, it's cold tonight, but I'm glad I got these discount bean sprouts. We can enjoy bean sprouts in our ramen too. Why you know what I did here? I don't have enough ramen for you. I wonder if he's just working on the cases. What does he do as a job right now to get money? I can't imagine like being part of the independent investigation gives them money. Wait, so while we were talking about him this whole time, what's with that scary look? Tonight I'm showing off Chef Nino's gourmet ramen too. Hey, where's everyone else? If you mean Yagari and Sasazuka, I don't know. I'll get it right one day. They went out on an investigation a bit ago. Seriously, I went through the trouble to get these sprouts. I didn't really understand why, but Enomoto looked depressed as he clutched the supermarket bag. He seems like a cheerful person before, but now I couldn't help but feel that there was something still burning in his heart. Well, whatever. I'll stick this in the fridge. I mean, you could cook it and I'll eat it. Watching him trudge over to the refrigerator, I still myself and spoke to Enomoto. Actually, today I talked to Detective Saku and Yagari about you. Huh? The look of surprise. Enomoto stopped in his tracks and clumsily turned around. What'd they say, huh? Huh? Oh, it wasn't like I was trying to pry into your past. I had Sakagawa introduce me to someone who was familiar with the April-May murders, and that led me to him. Even if it was inevitable, he could be angry at me for snooping in his private affairs. If I handled this poorly, he could reject me even more than before. I see. Well, there's no helping it if it's Sasaki. He doesn't look happy, though. He's the best guy to ask what happened. I'll totally point you to him. I figured you'd find out more about me eventually if you were set on chasing those crimes. Really. How much do you know? Well, probably everything if you talk to him. I don't know if I learned everything. I heard about your relationship to the victim, Fuji, and about the way you behaved. So he even told you the worthless details. He's awfully calm. He says acting calm. I bet you he's not calm on the inside. Then you know I'm really lame for running away, right? No, that was wrong. Enomoto's usual stout-hearted demeanor was now hidden under a self-deprecating smile. Detective Fuji got caught up by a notice, had all the dirty stuff he did exposed, and then he paid for it with his life. You know, at first I did my damnedest to try and prove his innocence. That guy, a dirty cop, it wasn't possible. I had faith in him. It had to be a mistake. Oh, that's what fell over. My slippers fell over. I had them resting on the bar of my desk. But the more I looked, the more real his crime became until I ran into solid evidence that I had to finally accept. Enomoto. You see, Detective Fuji was super cool. He was fired up, had his own sense of justice. He was my paragon of justice. In that voice, longing for the past, I could hear indescribable regret. But he was executed for being evil. Enomoto whispered in an emotionless voice. Aw, poor boyo. I'll never forgive Fuji's killer. Those feelings won't change. But on a personal level, I have no idea what justice means to me anymore. Oh, so he's confused. Enomoto looked lost. He cast his eyes downward because the person he envisioned as justice was corrupt. And so now he's just like, it's kind of like the rug was pulled out from under him. To Enomoto, justice was something he had created for himself to uphold, and now it was the source of his pain. What is justice? Legacy, legacy, legacy. What is a legacy? I don't mind if you take advantage of me, not if it helps to protect us. That's my idea of justice. Fine. So that's your form of justice. Perhaps he looked so depressed back then because his fixation on the idea of justice. I mean, if you don't know what something is, you can figure it out as you go along, I suppose. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily always be like, not everything in the world is black and white, right? Like, Fuji could have committed a, like, crime, right? Like, done something terrible and paid the price. I don't necessarily think the price had to be murder, like, killing him. It could have been like, hey, step down from the police force, or, you know, like, do the right thing and say what you did wrong. Like, murder is, like, an extreme form of punishment. I mean, and I know that a notice listed off, like, the crimes that these people had committed, but, I don't know who did what crime. I said a lot of proud things to you. Sorry, in the end, this is who I really am. Wait, what do you... We'll assist you if you ask him. It'd be better for you to switch on to another crime. So just leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't want your help. I want to be by myself. We finished in a low voice and left the room with an air of finality. I couldn't say anything to stop him. It wasn't my intention to put him through such pain, even if it was too much for him to bear alone. Couldn't he accept my support and we'd share the burden together? Yeah, I see where she's coming from with wanting to help, and I see where he's coming from with not knowing what he believes. So they're kind of at a standstill because she wants to offer her assistance, and he's like, yeah, I can't do this because I don't know what I believe in anymore because the person who taught me, like, what I believe was, you know, wrong. So, the back that had carried me to the office and ended up the stairs had felt large and reliable. At this rate, nothing will change. Enomoto had been betrayed by someone he trusted, and they would never meet again. I mean, yeah, they're definitely not going to meet again. The question is, what do I want to do? Time for another save. I have to follow him. I stood up and ran out of the office. It hadn't been that long since Enomoto had left the office, but I couldn't see him anywhere. I liked the little mascot. Please wait while we dial his number. I quickly took out my phone and tried to call him. He's not answering. I made up my mind, but that wouldn't mean anything if he was gone. I have to find him. I have to go. I focused on looking at the shop and places he was likely to kill time at. But he's nowhere to be found. At this rate... Calling my boss. If I call my boss, maybe my boss will know where he went. I felt guilty for interrupting him, but I called Yagari, who was likely to know where Enomoto went. Oh, except my boss isn't going to answer? Oh, no, he did. I'm sorry, but Enomoto left the office. Please tell me if you know where he might have gone. I see. He might be at the park. A park? Yeah, it's a park that sits between our office and the police station. When Enomoto goes off for no reason, he usually hangs out there. Okay. Bet you will find him sitting on a swing set. Or like in 14 when Cloud sits on top of. I think it's in 14 where like. Not 14, sorry. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 where him and Aerith have like a date at the little park and he sits on top of like this little dome thing. I'm so bummed that you couldn't go down the slide in 7. As they neared the park, I saw a familiar figure shape from behind. Enomoto. Why are you... Did you follow me? Yes, there's something I must talk to you about. I mean, technically I didn't follow you. I ran around town looking for you, and when I couldn't find you, I called our boss. Curtly dismissed my line of conversation and turned away. Tackle him! Tackle him! Again and again, Enomoto refused to face his problems and turned away. He did it this time too. Please wait! I ran after Enomoto and grabbed his arm so that he wouldn't just escape. Hey, let go. No, I'm not letting go. So what if I do? It's none of your business. It is my business because we're partners. I just said that in the heat of the moment. I played along because you were so persistent. Never mind the details. I'm your partner now, so I can't just abandon you. What the heck? You don't know if your pity is real or not. I don't know if your pity is real or not, but you're such a compassionate police officer. I know that I may not be able to completely empathize with your pain, but when you're feeling unsure or afraid, I can be by your side, backing you up. I will never, ever betray you. You must be an idiot, as if I had believed those words. If I could believe those words. Yamete tried to suddenly pull his arm free of my grasp, but I expected it and stubbornly held on. No one can be expected to live while everyone knows all their secrets. That's why people lie. Maybe their greed gets the better of them. But I don't want you to decide that you can't trust anyone at all ever again. Why? Why do you care so much? Because I'm nosy. Who cares what happens to me? There's plenty of other people you can work with. You are my partner, Enomoto. Get a grip. I'll never accept you as a partner because you might be connected to the criminals. I was gonna say, I have a grip on you. I'm holding onto your arm. And I'm not letting go. You're lying, huh? You're not avoiding me because you're suspicious of me. What exactly are you on? I really mean it when I say that I won't forgive you if you're part of this. That part might be true, but you actually do want to believe that I'm innocent, don't you? And what proof do you have? It's not that you don't believe me. You're just afraid of being betrayed by someone you trust. I will never betray you. You can't promise to never betray someone. Well, you can. Because people don't intentionally enter a relationship thinking, yes, today is the day. I'm going to betray this person. Even if it takes time, I will prove to you that I have nothing to do with those criminals. Prove how? Anyone can say that. I know, but I don't want to give up. I don't want to run from this fight. For the form of justice that I uphold, I won't give up on you. An idiot with a one-track mind who doesn't give up once he's made up his mind. That's how Sasaki described me once. And it's the only thing you have going for you. It's like I'm looking in a mirror. You look like me a long time ago. I didn't think about useless details and just focused on what was in front. I tried my hardest at everything. Enomoto. You're going to disturb the neighbors yelling at me like that. I'm sorry, but I couldn't help it, given the circumstances. You ran after me, gasping for air, and now you won't let go of my arm. You really are an idiot. What? But I'm glad you followed me. Thanks. With that, Enomoto smoothly disentangled his arm from my hand. I quietly watched him walk away. As he left, he smiled sadly as if recalling something from the past. Did any of my feelings make it through to him? If I could help claw his way out of the depths of his despair, I would keep extending my hand to him no matter how many times he brushed me off. Take my hand, it's okay, you're not alone. I had renewed my determination. You're filled with determination. Side story. I need lotion, man. My new job makes my hands so dry. This is Ha. I've always avoided this place, so how did I end up here? Hashino's gonna give me an earful. Nothing good can come from working with her. The justice she wants to protect, huh? Did I used to have that much passion? Probably. Who's there? Did you just punch your old boss? That's it? You're not gonna give me more? Ah, tease. I'm late. I wonder if Kazuki ate dinner. Man, I know I had food for breakfast, but I'm like still hungry, so I'm trying to drink water to see if I'm just like thirsty or if I'm actually hungry. But like I might eat after this. Hey, look, he has bat decal. That's super cute. See you at the studio tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Where have I seen that man before? In any case, it wasn't appropriate for him to be hanging around a high school student this late. It'll be too late when something happens. I have to nip that in the bud now. I probably wouldn't say anything. It'll make your brother, who thinks you already don't care, mad. But, like, the right thing to do is say something because you care for him. I like all their decorations. Like, their little brother's hat pins, and he has some pin, like a little pin on his jacket. Excuse me. That look of like, why are you here? Who are you? I'm Kazuki's sister. Introduced myself as Kazuki didn't seem like he was willing to. The strange man slipped his fist into his palm, as if he suddenly made a mental connection. That's right. I think that Akuta mentioned something about you having an older sister. So he knows Akuta too. But that doesn't make me feel better. This guy even got lip piercings. But they're cool. Pleasure to meet you. I had mentioned his name. He had been mistakenly arrested in the past. I never imagined that I'd be bumping into him like this. To think that Kazuki would actually know someone famous enough to be on TV. I couldn't tell from a distance, but now that I was up close, he was definitely the guy from TV. I believe he was introduced as the vocalist of a visual key band. Listen to sideshow. Stop staring at. I'm sorry, being watched is part of the job. Don't worry about it. His appearance was flamboyant, but Ashiki seemed to be a composed young man in person. So you're in a band, Kazuki? You could have just told me. Why would I have to tell you every single detail of my life? It's not like you care. That's not. Don't suddenly pretend to be my big sister now. You're just annoying me. Kazuki was being unusually harsh. I couldn't think of anything to say to him when. Miss Hashino? Yes? Come here, Kazuki, play next time. He's really cool. Smiled, and that seemed to alleviate the tension in the situation. Yeah, I'd like to see that sometime. I mean, I would like to go see him play. Like, I really want to know more about his character. And as, playing his bigger sister, I'm really interested. Maybe it's just because of how old he is, he thinks I don't care. Or maybe, like, because of their past relationship that I don't know about. Maybe because she moved away or something. Surprised, but he immediately turned away again. Every time Kazuki goes out at night, he takes the guitar with him. I thought he was just having fun, but he was actually practicing in his band. That a professional is praising him was proof that he has been working hard. Please take good care of him. I should ask the same of you. Thank you. Returned my sentiment, bowed politely, and left. He feels very mysterious. He changes when he's singing. After that, one comment in passing, Kazuki quickly went inside. Hey, don't leave me behind when we're in the middle of a conversation. Get back here! I'm talking to you! I rushed after him. Oh, on the way in, I asked Kazuki if he was hungry. He quietly nodded, thinking that he'd like something hot. I made parofu? I don't know what that is. Kazuki ate in total silence without uttering a word. Our meals usually went this way, but now I knew about his band. I wanted to talk about that today at least. Hey, Kazuki, what kind of music do you play with Mr. Ishiki? He's a visual key performer. So, are you similar in style? Oh, he's getting more annoyed. Stop talking. Now this is me sometimes. All right. How old is he? Anyway, he's definitely not high school age. He couldn't attend school with that hairdo. When I rapidly asked all the questions I had, shut up, who cares? You don't have to talk to me like that. Dispirited, I recalled what Katsuki had complained about to me before. You don't care about what I do. You just tell me I'm too loud. From Katsuki's point of view, I've been an obstacle to his pursuit of music. Of course, I never intended such a thing. I wanted to support him however I could. Kazuki continued to eat, unaware of what I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna know what you're thinking if you don't say something. So say something. Apologize to him. Tell him that you support him. Listen, Kazuki, I never meant to stop you from enjoying or pursuing your music. I only warned you when you were playing guitar because I didn't want you to disturb the neighbors late at night. I'm not into music, but I know it's not every day that a pro acknowledges your skills. Maybe you think I don't care, but we're family, you know? Of course I'd be interested. Ha! She did it! Here, water. I handed Kazuki a cup of water, and he downed it in one gulp. Don't suddenly say weird things like that. I hope he's okay, though. Huh? Kazuki made an unpleasant face as he muttered quietly, talking about being interested in stuff. Until now, you've never really asked me about what I'm doing. It's not just you either. Mom and Dad, too. None of my family have ever asked once. Not about what I'm doing or what I want to do. Kazuki didn't meet my eyes, but his voice was gradually rising in volume. You tell me to stay home because it's so dangerous. Then you tell me to stop practicing at home. And now you want to talk about family caring? Back in our parents managed a boarding house. You're going to inherit this someday. Dad would often say that. I came here to get away from Dad because he never shuts up. To get away from Dad. That phrase shook me. Even though he was at a rebellious age, I'd always assumed that Katsuki would take over the family business. But he was talking as if, Katsuki, do you? Straight at me and said, I'm not taking over the family business. I want to pursue a career in music. Thanks for the food. Kazuki said that in a muted voice and then quickly retreated to his room. He always left without saying a word, and I realized that it had been quite some time before he'd even said as much as thanks. Why didn't I try to get to know him better earlier? He must have felt so frustrated and alone. Don't pretend to be my big sister, huh? It made sense that he'd say that. I'd been focusing on myself and never bothered to take an interest in him. No, it's still not too late if we can have a heart-to-heart. I mean, this is true. Like, it's never too late if there's time. Who's calling? Out of my phone, there was an incoming call. It might be about the murderer. I resisted the urge to talk to Katsuki first and answered the phone. Yes, this is Hashina. Young lady, stay calm and listen to me. Enomoto. What? What happened, Enomoto? I never thought it would come to this. I think it's too late for Enomoto. Come over here and hear his last words. No! You'll understand when you get here. What did he do? I wrote down the location and ended the call. Enomoto. I feel like this is some big misunderstanding. I contained my rampaging emotions and went to Kazuki's room. Sorry, Kazuki, I just got a call from work, so I'm going out. I hurried to the location that Sakura had given me. Oh, is he drunk? I made to assume that they had been caught up in something serious. This doesn't look the way I was expecting. I looked for the place indicated on the note. I started to recognize more of my surroundings. Then I saw the pub that Sakura never frequented. Huh? I was in a panic when I first noted the address down, but now I realized it was the address of the pub. What's going on? He's drunk. I gingerly entered and looked around. When I did, I found Enomoto sprawled out over a low table. Enomoto, pull yourself together. I rushed over to check whether he was alive. I can't drink no more. Enomoto was certainly alive and was in no imminent danger, but he was very obviously drunk. Was nowhere to be seen in either the Tate room or the rest of the pub. He probably got him drunk and left. I wondered what I should do about this. The customer who was with him asked me to give you this. I was handed a letter. Oh, thank you. I accepted the letter and opened it. I invited him for a drink when I saw him so worried, but it went south. I'll let you take care of the rest. You're his partner after all. Oh yeah, get him drunk and pawn him on me. That's great. I thought some kind of tragedy had struck, but he just got too drunk. This is insane. I can't drink no more. I'm done for. Enomoto didn't notice me. He smiled contently and moaned while lying spread out on the table. I can't just leave him like this. I'll have to take him back to the office. Can you hear me, Enomoto? We're going back to the office. Okay. For the after party. Ron, come on, stand up. How about some sock next? Hot sock sounds nice. He was way too far gone. I just have to ignore him and drag him home. Come on, we're going home, Enomoto. Please try to walk. Huh, alright, you got it. Behold, my... What? Enomoto leaned on my shoulder and to stand up shakily and tried to go outside. Whoa, the world's all rumbly-tumbly. Is it the apocalypse? The world isn't ending. Come on, we're going home. Oh, I wanted to do more stuff before the end of the world. This is great! Now he's crying. Oh, this is fantastic. While supporting the thoroughly intoxicated Enomoto on my shoulder, I called for a taxi. I wanted to eat way more tasty ramen. Dude, eat more than ramen. Eat some veggies. And maybe some meat. You sure love ramen. Farewell, my lovely Los Angeles style miso butter, sea urchin, seaweed, soy milk, stew flavored ramen. That's one crazy ramen flavor. Wow, that does not sound good to me. A taxi picked us up from outside the pub and somehow we made it back to the office. Enomoto, can you walk? Well, yeah, of course I can. Up and at them. Enomoto tilted over and plopped down onto the pavement. Huh? That's not right. There should be someone in the office. Should I call for them? It's okay. I can get up. No, let's I'm talking to... My talking is all messed up. Was Enomoto current sorry state because of all the alcohol? Enomoto can't hold his drink, huh? Alright, I'll help you get up there. So let's try standing up together. Oh yeah, I'm gonna conquer the world. He wasn't listening. Fine then. Enomoto almost lost his footing while traversing the stairs, but we finally managed to get into the office. Yeah, Yagari and Sakuri still aren't back. I have arrived at my castle. Enomoto. I only took my eyes off him for a second, but he immediately charged headlong into the wall. Oh my gosh, she's such a silly drunk. Are you that hurt. He seemed fine. I'm kind of sleepy. Wow, Enomoto, you can't sleep on the floor. Wait, no, get up. I brought him back, but now what was I supposed to do? Maybe if he slept on the sofa. Oh wait, his bedroom area is in the next room. I think I'll take him there. Enomoto, we're almost there. Just hang on. I'm trying my best over here. God, don't curl up into a ball. You're really heavy. I half dragged Enomoto into the nearby bedroom area. Somehow I managed to guide him to his bed and breathed a huge sigh of relief. Phew, Enomoto, are you feeling better? Seaweed. I'm being attacked by seaweed. I can't eat anymore. Ugh, stop multiplying. He seems to be having some sort of nightmare, but he'd probably be fine now. I'll be going home then. It had been nothing significant, but it still left me exhausted. I wondered what to do about leaving the door unlocked if I left, but Yagari would probably be back soon, so maybe there wasn't a real need to worry. But just as I turned and quietly tried to leave so that I wouldn't wake Enomoto, he suddenly bolted upright in bed. Whoa, you scared me. What's wrong? It's kinda hot. Before I could stop him, Enomoto whipped off his jacket and immediately started trying to strip off his shirt. Stop, it's the middle of December. You'll catch a cold. But it's hot. But you can't go to sleep this lightly dressed without a heater. When you drink alcohol, you only feel warm temporarily. You'll feel better if you just lie down for a bit, okay? Okay. It's like, but wait, I'm hot. I need to take off all my clothes. And then go to bed. And Enomoto's hand fell away from the button he was trying to undo, and he lay back down. I should cover him with a blanket. I approached the bed. Enomoto's hands tugged at me, and then all of a sudden... I love body pillows. He thinks I'm a body pillow. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Enomoto, what do you think you're doing? He's gonna be so embarrassed in the morning when he wakes up to this. Oh my gosh, this is great. Wait, hey, don't you fall asleep. I'm not a body pillow. I tried to extract myself from his grasp, but maybe because he was half asleep, he held on to me pretty tightly and I couldn't escape. Is that Hashina here? Yeah, it's me. I'm still here. Oh, I see. He's like awake, asleep, awake, asleep. Enomoto, if you don't cut this out right now, I'm going to get angry. Enomoto stirred and then looked at me while still hugging me. Come on, don't be mad. You're super cute when you're quiet, but you're still so feisty too. What? Oh, Hashino's so cute. Seriously cute. Like an angel. This is so precious. Oh my gosh. He's drunk and half asleep, and he thinks I'm a body pillow that's talking, so he's confessing all these things to me. It took me a moment to understand what he said. She's way too cute and hot. My head grew warm as he continued his day's babbling. Okay, yeah, time to go home. I made up my mind and tried to squirm even harder than before. Why? What was happening? Enomoto was embracing me even tighter now. This was too much even for a joke. I had to tell him more firmly. But then, I don't understand. Why? Sad little whispers. Somehow I knew exactly what he was referring to. His feelings about the murderers. His feelings towards the killer. His feelings about his justice. I hadn't heard him express all of his feelings yet. Perhaps they were far more pure than I'd realized, and that was why they were too heavy for him to let go of. He had probably drunk himself into this stupor tonight to free himself of all those heavy feelings. So maybe I also had to accept him for who he was right now. I'm being used as a body pillow by a man, which is terribly embarrassing, demeaning. But if this helped Enomoto feel better, just for now then, just as I thought. Enomoto suddenly stirred. The movement brought his face, he had positioned himself so he was right up against my chest, and my heart began pounding rapidly. Enomoto, you're squirming a bit too. I mean, this is really quite embarrassing. Managed to get that out. Hey, huh? You smell nice. What? I wanna feel it more closely. That was not the reply I expected. Closely? Closely, so he means... I raised the protest, but I wasn't able to wriggle it free from his grasp. Enomoto moved slowly, and then... the office window opened. Oh my gosh! I locked eyes with Okazaki in the window. Sorry for interrupting. I screamed audibly, but Okazaki sized my situation up and didn't have a particularly strong reaction to it. So that's how you two are, huh? He nodded to himself. No, Ozaki, you see, it's fine. My lips are sealed tight. Sealed like... That's not sealed very tightly at all. Enomoto, please explain to Ozaki that this is all a misunderstanding. We're not... Need a hand? Please. Ozaki graciously helped me out of my humiliating bind. Enomoto must be a heavy sleeper because he never woke up. That was exhausting. I wanted all those heartbeats back, thinking that I went home. Well, at least you got out, so that's good. Good luck at practice. The next countdown fast approaches. Are you prepared? An artificial hated voice that grated on my ears. I hated secrets, so that's why I hated this fake voice. But I had to obey this person. The restraint around my neck killed my emotions. We have important business that day. Night is fine too. You just need to perform the task before midnight. It just needs to be that day. Thank goodness. I won't miss Hero's comeback concert. Him? It's fine to reveal in your youth, but do not forget your conviction as an enforcer. I know. I'll do it. I don't want to lose my memories. I touched my restraint and thought back to the moment. I'd never experienced anything as fun in my life ever since. It was something that only I could do for the person I loved. This truth filled me up. So I wanted never to forget it. There's no one in this world who is more perfect for Hero than me. That's the power of love. That's why I can do anything. My next job had absolutely nothing to do with Hero, but it would lead to a sparkling future for the both of us. Just let me be done with this already. I want to talk to Hero after his concert. What? I only wanted to protect my own justice. This violent, malicious world which oppressed the weak was so ridiculous. This is why I chose to act. Justice would never fall to evil. I decided that I would prove it to myself with my own body. I believed that I could prove it. Until the day came that all would be overthrown. Okay. Well, that's chapter 2. So, is the singer working with the Notice then? I have so many questions. But no, very, very few answers. Oh well. I guess we'll find out in the next episode in chapter 3, or maybe not so much later. As always, remember to get some sleep, eat some food, and drink some water, because you are important and so is your health. And I will see you guys in the next episode. And remember to hit that subscribe button so you get all the notifications when I go live next. Have a good one. Bye-bye.